Hello, my name is Morgan Vaughn, and I'm a student in the MBA 500 program Perspectives on Management. This is my final project, and the title of my project is Medical Incident Reporting and Organizational Theory. I'll go over my presentation outline and objectives. The first objective I have is to describe my organizational situation. The next is to describe the organizational theory that I picked. I will focus on Douglas McGregor and his theories X and Y. Then the social person error, and I will focus on people and motivation. Then I will describe the importance of incident reporting and factors that inhibit reporting. Then I will talk about my conclusion on the project. The organizational situation that I have picked is to focus on non-punitive systems of errors in healthcare and if they have led to an improvement in work ethic and an environment that encourages reporting of mistakes. At my current organization, we have a system that we are allowed to log into a computer and report an incident or a near miss or a situation that we felt uncomfortable in that took place while we were on the job. We've been told that it can be completely confidential, or we can choose to disclose who we are, what department we're in, etc. But from the past, we have witnessed completely confidential reports get brought up in a very negative fashion. The whole department is blamed for the mistake, and it's just not a sense of something that you would want to be a part of. So a lot of people don't use it, and in turn, mistakes go unreported and no real change is ever initiated. We've been told that after we report a mistake, that there will be a root cause analysis meeting to figure out the cause of the mistake and determine a way to keep the mistake from happening again. But even though we've been told this, and there will be no formal punishment, there is often still fear associated with the reporting system because of the threats that have been made from management in the past. Now I'll highlight on the importance of incident reporting. When used correctly, it can provide accurate data on medical errors and near misses, and it also initiates a process of reducing medical errors, figuring out why they happened, what caused the process to happen, and how can we prevent it in the future. And it also adds to a place of workplace culture and safety, and that in turn provides increased quality of care for our patients. And it gives healthcare workers a voice when they witness mistakes or are part of mistakes, and they feel that it is their professional responsibility to report it and avoid it from happening again. And it also increases patient safety when reports are utilized. I did a quick survey of my coworkers. I conducted an anonymous survey of about 45 coworkers of mine, and they filled out a form and they put it in disclosed location, so I didn't know who filled out which form, about how they felt about our current incident reporting system. 53% of my coworkers marked that they did not use the system because of fear of punishment. 27% marked that they felt completely confident in the system, that they've used it before. I had a few write comments about how they saw positive change from the system, from incidents that they had reported. 13% marked that they did not use it because of lack of training, which I fall into this category. I was never formally trained on how to use our incident reporting system, and if I had to report something, I would have to ask how to do it, and then that would tell whoever I asked that I'm about to report an incident, and they would automatically know who did it. And 7% marked the other category. They didn't disclose if they did use it, why they used it, or if they felt comfortable using it. Factors that influence incident reporting. I have the negative and the positive impacts listed here. The negative impacts are fear of punishment, lack of knowledge and training, lack of trust and confidentiality of the system. Positive impacts include they provide education materials for incidents that have happened in the past. You could provide incentives for good catch awards. Employees that speak up, you can provide extra lunch time or a gift card to entice more employees to speak their mind. And then we have the professional responsibility of healthcare workers to do their job and to want to provide a change and reduce incidents from happening again. The organizational theory that I chose to focus on was formed by Douglas McGregor. He was a social psychologist and he served as the president of Antioch College. After he served as the president, he went on to become a professor at the Sloan School of Management until his death in 1964. He found that the human relations theory was inadequate, and he authored The Human Side of Enterprise. On the underlying assumption of managers toward their employees, he thought that the way managers thought about their employees would influence their decisions on how they managed their employees. So McGregor's Theory X was a traditional view of direction and control, and I've listed the principles here. Number one, the Theory X thought that average human dislikes work and will avoid it at all costs if he can. And number two, most people must be coerced, controlled, directed, and threatened with punishment to produce adequate effort. And number three, average human beings prefer to be directed while avoiding all responsibility. They possess little ambition and they want security above all else. And I've put in bold the principle number two because that is what I will focus on in relation back to the incident reporting system. Then McGregor's Theory Y. The principles that this theory includes are, number one, it's in direct contrast to Theory X. So number one, the average human does not dislike work. Number two, man will put forth effort, self-direction, and self-control to objectives in which he is committed. That threat and punishment are not the only means for increased effort. Number three, commitment is a product of incentives associated with their achievement. Number four, the average human seeks responsibility under the right conditions. Number five, men are capable of exercising imagination and creativity under the proper management and guidance. Number six, intellectual potential is only being partially utilized by many people. So again, I've highlighted number two because that is what I will focus on in relation to my project and the incident reporting systems. The social person error, people, and motivation. Joseph N. Scanlon, he was a seaman, a cost accountant, a steelworker, a union organizer, and union officer. He worked with the United Steelworkers of America. He formed a committee that heard out workers' suggestions on cutting waste and cost savings, which is strikingly similar to incident reporting systems in healthcare. We have a SOFOR committee that hears out workers on what happened, why it happened, and how can we prevent it from happening. Even though his was not confidential, it is important that healthcare workers have a sense of security in reporting so they don't fear their jobs or fear that they'll be punished or fear that their professional reputation will be ruined by a simple mistake, because everyone makes mistakes and it's important that we can speak our voice on these mistakes to avoid them from happening again. And McGregor actually devoted a chapter of The Human Side of Enterprise to the Scanlon Plan, which focused on integration and self-control. And I have added my own thought here to the bottom that workers are motivated for positive change when they are able to be heard. And my conclusion in this project that medical error reporting is extremely underused, which only entails increased error, and we need to promote an environment that is conducive to error reporting, and management needs to get on board with the confidentiality and figuring out the true why it happened, and how can they decrease the incident of it happening again. Medical professionals feel that it is their professional responsibility to report errors, but they fear punishment and ruined professional reputation. So we need to slice this derogatory fear of medical error reporting and promote the importance of reporting so that patients, employees, management, everyone reaps the benefits of medical error reporting. McGregor's theory why: that punishment and fear is not needed for employee motivation, and the social person theory of motivation: workers are motivated for change when they are effectively heard. So that was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, just email me. Thanks. And here are my references for the project.